Hey yo, what it do YouTube? It's your boy Alvin MB10, aka AMR10, and what I got for you today is some college football 25. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, I am not a big American football person myself. This is my first time properly playing a college football game, and I originally thought I was gonna make a middle linebacker, but after spending some time thinking about it, I decided let me try and remake the careers of some of my favorite players. And to start off with, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to recreating the college football career of the one and only Superman, Super Cam Newton, aka the man who made the dab so infectious to the rest of us. Now, in this series, you'll see me recreating the entirety of his career the best that I can, and hopefully you enjoy it. If you do me a favor, go ahead and like the video. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn post notifications on. And lastly but not least, do drop a comment telling me how you think I can improve this, because again, I am new to the game. I will not lie, my American football knowledge is very basic, and yeah, I'm just trying to have some fun. Now, starting off with, as most of you know, Cam Newton was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school as a 75 overall, played the quarterback position, and of course, when it came to the archetype, he was known as a scrambling QB. If you aren't going to go with that, you're going to go improviser, but you're more likely going to go scrambler. Key reasons being, it comes with a high power, elusiveness, health, and quickness, which at his young age, he was known for having. Alright, now hear me out. We did try and make this as close to Cam as we could. Facially, I know we're not there, but trust me, with the rest of the appearance, i.e. gear-wise, we did try. Now, physique, we did keep it at his high school measurements of 6'5", 235 pounds, whilst giving him massive arms, because yeah, as most of you know, Cam was kind of jacked. Gear-wise, helmet, we went with the closest thing we could get, which happened to be none other than the Shoot Air X Pro VTD. Technically, I wanted to go with, where is it now? Dang, I lost the other shoot. There was a Shoot Air Advantage, but hey, it is what it is. Visor, we kept it nice and clear because, as most of you know, Killer Cam was out here with one in the end, and I wanted to keep this on. And then, of course, we decided to also go with a nice little setup of having the right arms, the right wristband, as well as having the left arm coach team band. And then, of course, high socks, low top Under Armours, and yeah, if I might say myself, outside of the face not looking particularly like it, this is the closest to Cam we're gonna get. We did go with over the top 3 for the QB throwing style, but hey, if you know a better one, let me know. Okay, so when it comes to equipping mental abilities, the first thing that we will be going with is we do have the options of winning time, the natural, team player, field general, or headstrongs. Wait, you know what? I'm gonna go with headstrong just because, yeah, Cam Newton is kind of headstrong, so that's what we're gonna choose to go with. Now, mental physicals, we end up with headstrong, fan favorite, road dog, clear-headed, magician, mobile resistance, option king, extender, and off-platform being our physicals. And then, of course, we are a QB scrambler, 6'5", 235 pounds, Cam Newton. Now, upon starting our career, we get a quick little question from Donna Harper, a local TV reporter, asking us which of these we see as most important in our first season. Now, obviously, the right thing to say here is competing for a national title, but if we're being true to Cam, I have a strong feeling he'd have said getting an NIL opportunity if he had the opportunity, because you know what I'm saying? If you heard the freestyle, you heard it.
In the building, I'm real hot, to the ceiling, I'm on TV, it don't matter, I'm talking boys, talking that child, here we go, I need a chill, after this game, I'm gonna throw bill, I'm going on top of the dome, on my car, I got chrome.
But for the sake of it, we're going to go with competing for a national title, as that seems is the correct answer. And which would I say is also important? I feel like for Cam, the next best thing was making it to the league one day. Now, which is most important to me? It's always going to be the coaching staff with decades of experience, because, hey, they're the ones who are going to build me up in a way that I see best. Now, as most of you know, Cam Newton's freshman year, he did play as a Florida Gator. Now, I have no idea why I went to the ACC first. This shows you how well my knowledge of college football really ranges. I even went to American, but I obviously went back to national because I know it is listed in one of the national teams because that's all the teams. But the thing that really shocked me was Florida really had no interest in me. Now, unfortunately, this isn't the 2007 roster whereby there was only Tim Tebow for me to really compete with, but instead it's a 2008 where coming to Florida, I will be the third string quarterback. Now, this is a well-balanced team, a 3.5-star roster, but I commit because, as we said, we are recreating Cam Newton's career just in 2024. Now, to keep us as honest as possible, the key thing here is trying to outperform Cam's college career, which is why we will be going head-to-head with his stats. Now, in his first year in college, Cam Newton did complete 5 passes on 10 attempts for 40 yards, averaging about 4 yards per pass, 0 interceptions, 0 touchdowns through passes, along with 14 with a rating of 83.6, whilst on the rushing side of the ball managed to go for 16 carries for 103 yards, averaging about 6.4 yards a carry, with a long of 24 and 3 rushing touchdowns. Now, for the sake of me, we will be trying to beat these stats in this freshman year. However, we do expect that we will not get a lot of playing time as we are the third string quarterback. Now that we had committed Cam Newton to the Florida Gators as he had done for the first 2 seasons of his career, we had nothing really to do in the first week because the first week was a preseason. Therefore, we used the 4 skill points that we did have to improve Cam Newton's elusiveness, particularly focusing on his ability to break sacks and break tackles, because if you know his play style, you know when he runs, it's impossible to bring him down to the ground. After doing that, we obviously went on to advance to the next week, where the very first thing we got was a message from our OC basically contacting us in regards of some information that we need to know before we start the season. I will not lie, I did not read this. I just elected to give the polite answer over the confident answer because I knew in most video games, if you select confident, it ends up coming off rude for no reason, even though confidence isn't always rude. But polite always seems to be nice, as you can see with just can't wait for the season to start. Thanks. After that, we obviously progress on to a bye week in week 0, where all we can really do is practice and the weekly agenda. So we elect to start off with some training, where the very first training drill I elected to go with was pass skeleton. Now, obviously, I could have gone for option attack, which is more suitable towards Cam's play style, but I wanted to try pass skeleton just because I wanted to show the coaches that, this Cam Newton's a little bit more versatile than you think. Because in Cam Newton's first year, he obviously did win the backup position over, I forgot who the other QB was, but it was a QB battle for the backup position, and Cam won. So in my instance, it's a whole thing of, I know for the majority of the season, until I get the coach's trust, we won't be on the field too much. So if anything, for this season to be a success, we really do need to win that backup role, as well as obviously getting on the field to get the stats that Cam did in his freshman year. But looking at pass skeleton and my ability in this drill, you can easily see why there's a strong likelihood I wasn't going to get that backup role just yet, let alone why I was the third string quarterback, because there's a lot of passes into double coverage, there's a lot of interceptions thrown, and there's a lot of setting up receivers to get hit really bad off passes, even though the game is sometimes highlighting where I should probably throw the pass and I'm just making some bad reads. But obviously, as you know, I'm settling with a bunch of the check downs, taking some of the easy passes when I can get to it, and hopefully, as time goes on, I'll improve my ability of making the passes with this, because it's looking kind of bad right now with how this drill went, with me only getting like 1,650 when you need at least 2K to get bronze and 7K to get silver and 15K to get gold on the drill. Now, weekly agenda-wise, I focused more on the academic side of things, because with us getting limited playing time to start off with, I figured might as well get the academics up, and really and truly, I had no idea what else to upgrade. Now, obviously, this is also not kind of true to Cam Newton, because as we all know, Cam wasn't exactly the smartest tool in the shed. Don't get me twisted, he is smart, but I believe Cam Newton's GPA was somewhere around a 2.8, so we were really just trying to push it up so that we didn't get bunked out when we had school. Now, in the following week, we obviously get hit up by Graham Mertz, aka the starting QB. He's basically saying he's going to be bunking with us, and key thing, he wants us to wake him up. Now, again, I know Cam Newton's a confident guy. He might not wake him up just for the heck of it to get to practice, but we elected to go with agree to help just because, we need the team to we need to build leadership, and stuff like that builds leadership, because Cam's a leader on the floor, and we need him to be a leader in general. Now, in the first playing week, the matchup we do have is a rivalry matchup going up against the U, aka the University of Miami. So, again, we got to show the coaches in practice that we're ready for this, so we opt to go for the option attack, mainly because, again, this is something suited towards a scrambling quarterback. As you can see, we are able to beat the defensive backs to the touchdown, to the end zone, mainly because the speed on this build and the acceleration is high as heck. So I started to abuse it quite a bit, just really getting to the end zone as much as I could. I wasn't focusing too much on how many points I needed. Like, one thing that started off early was with this I kept forgetting the fact that multipliers keep going, and the higher the multiplier, the better your chance of really scoring high. So I was just messing around, running short and all this stuff, not realizing I was really tanking my ability to upgrade this player, let alone get the coach's trust. But we do manage to finish this with at least a decent enough score that even though we don't get bronze, silver, or gold, we do gain a little bit of the coach's trust, which helps move us up in that ability of getting the backup QB position. Because again, we need to secure it. But we finished with 13,445, just barely 2,000 out from what we needed to get the backup QB position. And then when it came to the weekly agenda, as I said before, we were aiming to get the GPA up. Now, obviously, it is above Cam Newton's average GPA, with us being at the 3.0 versus his 2.8. But we were really trying to not get flunked out and miss a game due to education. And we knew we weren't going to get any playing time, so we figured, hey, what's the worst that can happen? So going into this matchup against the U, as you can see, we are the favorites in all three aspects of the field. We come out, obviously, in the swamp. We got the gator head right there, everybody touching it, running through. I do not expect to see Cam on the field at any point in this game, mainly because, again, third string quarterback. If we begin to blow out the U, I expect to see the backup sees the field, and he will most likely see the field before I do for a lot of time. The only way I get to see the field is if the starting quarterback gets injured and the backup gets injured. Now, obviously, the U are ranked, whereas we are not, but being ranked doesn't really mean much when you're coming up against us. Now, we kick off early, and as you can see, starting off the game, there's a few slow drives with no scores before the U gets up 3-zip. We managed to get a quick little touchdown, start to get a field goal, another field goal. We basically take a lead over the U that we never give back to them. And at this point, as you can see, we're basically closing out the game. I'm not going to lie, Graham Mertz was doing his job in this game, because we romped them out by 24 points and basically shut out this rivalry to let them know that, hey, you might be ranked, but we coming for the top. Now, obviously, we had to check out Graham Mertz's stats because Cam does want that backup job, but he also really wants that starter job. And as you can see, he completed 21 passes on 27 attempts for 214 yards, meaning it's going to be quite hard to get him off that position. Pause. But we have 3 skill points left from what we gained over the last weeks of training as well as studying. And we elect to use those for IQ because, again, improves awareness, play action, carrying, and ball carrier vision, which will help a lot when we're running in that open field, as well as when we're running the play actions, because I do intend on running quite a few of those with Cam Newton because, again, big part of his gameplay because everybody's scared of the fact that it might just be an option and he might just run it. So advancing into week 2 of the season, as we can see, we've only got 202 of the coach's respect, but teammates are hitting us up in regards of doing favors. We meet Karen, our academic advisor, who I'm not going to lie is a pain in our backside by the end of it. And fortunately, the biggest thing of all is we get our very first NIL offer from Chef's Sporting Goods, which is a local sporting goods company. Now, obviously, they do say that for 1 energy a week over 2 weeks, we will gain about 500 followers each week for the deal. So we signed it because, Cam, I really do believe if Cam had the opportunity to sign NIL deals, which he's spoken about on his podcast, he would have. Because, hey, who ain't trying to get paid whilst you're doing something that you really love? But again, we go into practice a week for this week's matchup. And the very first thing I elect to go for is showing that I can really, scramble a little bit and get passes off. It does start off kind of well because obviously I have played this drill a couple times beforehand. However, I will not lie to you. We are not dominant at it. We are just really good as we manage to secure silver. Now, unfortunately, we don't manage to secure gold because, yeah, I was being a bit slow in the middle parts of this drill. But with silver, we managed to get 350 of the coach's respect, which is dang near twice as much as we had already, which obviously shifts us up quite a bit in our ability to do stuff. If anybody knows, what are these little milestones that we're crossing in regards to plays? Do they mean that we get more plays, a variety, or what does it mean? But anyway, with the weekly agenda, key thing was I wanted to develop Cam Newton's leadership ability because, again, he is a leader when he's on the floor. So, I say on the floor, on the field. So we put all of our energy that we had left over outside of the deal into his leadership. Unfortunately, I hit advance to next week in this situation, so we don't get to see the matchup against FCS Southeast. However, I can tell you now that unfortunately we did lose. As you see, we're 1-1 before our matchup against number 8 ranked Texas A&M. Now, we quickly go over to the schedule to look at how this game came out. It's kind of upsetting because we did lose to them 30-28. We scored a large majority of our points in the fourth, apparently, and obviously Graham Mertz had a decent game with the 1 interception, throwing for 287 yards on 76% completion percentage. However, running-wise, we did struggle with 31 yards on the floor and 31 yards from our running back and 14 from our quarterback, which is kind of disappointing. We'd expect at least 100 just to show a strong, solid running game, but hey, we move on to the next week. Now, ahead of this matchup against Texas A&M, elected to go for scramble survive. Key reason being, I'm trying to show a lot of versatility to the coaches and that, hey, you can trust me in these positions. Just let me start. Like, give me the backup role. Give me that QB2 challenge because I need it. But as you can see, I wasn't doing too well in the drill. Like, I was rolling out as much as I could, but the passes weren't exactly flying for me the way I wanted to. Plus, I'm not going to lie, my blockers were letting the defense get off these blocks way too quick to the point whereby I didn't have enough time to really line myself up. But we were able to get a few passes as we get a quick little touchdown here. And, of course, we managed to throw our last little pass here to Circle, which is secured and gets us a few more points. We don't get any silver, gold, or bronze, meaning that we don't get much of the coach's respect. But we do then go into our weekly agendas and basically focus on developing our brand. Now, I'm still quite confused on how developing your brand works, but hey, it is what it is. Looking at the matchup against Texas A&M, you can see the only thing we matched up fairly against them on was the defensive side of things. So coming into this game, I did not expect much. We expected to get whooped because they beat us on special teams and offense. However, as you can see, it was a tight game going into the half, which really looked optimistic for us. But then coming into the second half, we managed to take a lead, giving us a 13-14 lead. They come back down the field, kick a field goal, and obviously get a bunch of stops on us. And then, unfortunately, we lose a close one to them off that one field goal they made, which basically allowed them to beat us 16-14. We're looking at the player stats. We see that Graham Mertz, again, another great performance from him, 25 of 31 for 248 yards. Really and truly, I was starting to identify the fact that I am most likely never beating this man for his I'm never taking the starting QB position from him. As we quickly look up and see, we need 4,000 of the coach's respect to pass QB2, in which case we'll get the position challenge. So we go back into training, and the very first thing we do is we are aiming to stack it up. Now, fortunately, this is the first time that we managed to actually get a tier on one of these drills. Actually, we managed to get one on the other, but this is the first time that we've got it on pass skeleton, where we managed to get bronze, which obviously gets us 200 of the coach's respect, which puts us 1/20th of a little bit of the way closer to QB2, as we now sit at 927 of the coach's respect. With the weekly agenda, again, we're focusing on developing that leadership because we've noticed with very low leadership, there's a negative attribute applied to your coach's trust, which I believe is weekly. We're now matched up against Mississippi State, who we're superior to in every single facet of the game because at all three phases we have a higher overall team. So we're expecting that this week will be our bounce back week because obviously we've had quite a few losses, and that Texas A&M loss must have hurt quite a bit because yeah, it was a close game, but you hate to lose those ones more than you love to win the blowouts, right? So we see Mississippi State coming out. I'm not gonna lie, I made it a key thing of mine to really watch every team run onto the field because everybody has something different in what they do. You know what I'm saying? We have the gator. These guys just run out to their crowd screaming and yelling with this whole flags ahead. But hey, it is what it is. Now, obviously, we're in their house. We are in another SEC matchup, so this is a big deal for us, and we are trying to get a win out here. Graham Mertz comes out, manages to march down the field on the opening drive, goes through a few when nothing happens, and then we go back up 14-7. Now, this game was a little bit closer than we would have liked because, again, we are meant to be way better than this team, but for some reason it's only a 1-point game at the end of the third quarter. Managed to get a field goal to put us up 4, and obviously you know what we do, we lose. All right, we sadly lose. We are now on a losing streak ever since our first win against the U because FC Southeast beat us, Texas A&M beat us, and now Mississippi State just had their way with us, beating us by a field goal as well. These are way too many close losses. We lost by 2 to FCS Southeast. We lost by 2 to Texas A&M, and we lost by 3 to Mississippi State. So in my head, again, another week where we know we're not going to hit the field at any point. So the big thing is, whenever we're not hitting the field, we got to kill it in practice because practice is where we will develop the most, and practice is where we will really earn our ability to get on the floor. Now, for the first time, we managed to get silver on pass skeleton, which is beautiful because it does mean we earned 350 of the coach's respect. After the game, we also earned a little bit, so we get 1,433. In the weekly agendas, again, we're focusing on key things. GPA has dropped to about a 2.2, so I'm trying to boost this back up because, again, CAMS was a 2.8, but the big reason is I don't want it to be a thing that we flunk school and we get screwed. But that was a bye week for us after the Mississippi State game, which is why we managed to get all that training in. And then we advanced on to the very next week where obviously we show no gainage, but we are matched up against UCF. So ahead of that game, we're running the option attack because at this point, my key thing is I want to close the ground down on the backup job, because I knew the quicker we can close the ground down on that one, the quicker we can secure the first part of Cam's career being the backup QB, and then the quicker we can hopefully get on the field to secure the stats. Because again, the aim of this whole series is to try and basically replicate, if not perform better than Cam did in his few seasons whilst playing college. I say few seasons, in his 4 seasons of playing college football. Now, as you can see, we were having our way with this option attack drill, because at a point I figured that all you really got to do is beat the first defender. After beating him, the second one can't catch you to save his life, which is why, as per usual, get on the outside of the first, and it's just a quick little run home for me to get my silver. And then fortunately, we had enough time left on the drill that I was able to bounce it out and secure for myself a quick little gold, which means we get the max coach respect in respect of this drill of 500. Now, with that improvement, we now go into the matchup against UCF, where again, we are meant to be the favorites with the higher overall team. And we come out and we act like it, coming out and getting a touchdown on our first drive. However, we do get stagnant for a bit before getting our second one. We end up taking a solid lead before UCF starts to mount a bit of a comeback. And at the half, we're still holding on to this lead, but it's not looking too solid, because with the last few games we've had, it's always a thing of we have a 1 touchdown lead and end up losing it in the end. But fortunately enough, we managed to hold on and we beat UCF 27-22. Cam never manages to see the field in this game, but we are inching bit by bit a little bit closer to basically making our official debut on the team, as we are now halfway home to the QB2 slot. Now, we get hit up by the offensive coordinator, and he basically hits us up with a quiz on how well we know football. This was me showing my lack of knowledge, because here I really did know it was quarters. I really did, but I stupidly went for cover 7, which of course was wrong. Then we had which term refers to 3 receivers in close proximity to each other on one side. I'm not going to lie to you. I've watched so much MMG that I know what a bunch looks like. So I went with bunch. And then, of course, we had one more, which was how many receivers are most likely running routes in max protection. I knew this was 2 receivers just because in max protection we're coming out with a lot of tight ends because we're doing a whole lot of blocking. But hey, we managed to get 2 out of 3, which wasn't bad. And fortunately enough, managing to pass this quiz also helped us gain a little bit more of the coach's trust, which is necessary if we really want to get on the field. Now, we're improving the leadership again because we want to improve that team XP as well as coach's trust. I suspected at a point it would start to go positive, but it didn't. And then with the remainder of what we had, we went for that local hero status within the brand. And then lastly but not least, we ran option attack again. I sped through how we did it because, again, we secured gold, and it was mainly because of how, at a point we didn't even secure gold. We secured silver because I just realized, it's an easy drill. Now we're going up against Tennessee, again, another team that we are a favorite over. We just came off our very first win in quite a bit. We had a 3-game losing streak before we went up against UCF last game and managed to secure it. So we're obviously trying to carry that over and make sure that it goes all the way through. Now, we watched Tennessee's intro. Not too much of a big fan, so we hop straight into it. We're hoping Graham Mertz can lead us to another victory because, again, remember, in Cam Newton's freshman season, the Gators managed to go 9-4. So we got to try and at least beat a record of 9-4, and we're currently 2-3, which is kind of upsetting. But anyway, we start off beating dog lights out of Tennessee as we go up 24-7. We basically have them done by the fourth quarter, and we know we've secured the win, which brings us to an even 3-3, meaning that on the season, we're not in a scary place yet. We're in a really good place because right now what we've got is enough to basically take us off to the finish line. So looking at the stats, we can see that Graham Mertz managed to put in a shift with a solid performance of 20 of 27 for 184 yards, which is quite impressive because, again, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions. That's a little bit of room where we think to ourselves that we might be able to really sneak in this starting role, because if you're performing like that, there's a chance for us. So we go ahead into week 8 and we basically get informed that we passed an exam prior to the game, which is always great news because, of course, it means we're not going to get sacked as we got all A's. And then we also managed to get the fan favorite badge activated, which is nice because this shows that Cam Newton's developing, in which case he will be making the field soon. In practice, we ran through the option attack one more time, managing to get gold. This was the first time we got gold in this drill. And the key reason for that was we were putting our foot to the dirt. Like, I kid you not, this Cam Newton build is really fast, or at least this scrambling QB build is really fast when he hits when he hits somebody on a little turn, that change of direction, he's gone. As you see me change direction twice here and manage to cut up field, and nobody can catch me. Now, fortunately enough, doing this managed to get us gold, which gave us 500 and put us only 900 coach trust anyway, behind the backup quarterback. Meaning 2 more drills that went successfully good would put us ahead. Now, our matchup for this week was the Kentucky Wildcats, who of course were underdogs against us. Coming off the fact that we're on a 2-game winning streak, we really wanted to come out here and basically show them that this is our house. Now, the only thing that was sad about this is we did have such a slow start that Kentucky managed to go up 20-6 on us at half. And it looked like the game was done because in the third, we basically went for only 2 points on what I believe would have been a safety. But in the fourth quarter, Graham Mertz and them boys clutched up and they managed to get us a comeback victory, scoring 16 points in the fourth, which basically put us over them 24-20 and meant that we continued our win streak, allowing us to go 4-3 on the season. Now, we were really, you know what I'm saying? We were really on a roll right now because against the SEC, we were really showing that in conference we can really win against the majority of the teams here, and we just needed to keep proving that we could do it. Now, the next thing we did was we did have a bye week, which in any bye week, it's always the same purposes for me. We know we're not seeing the field, so we always got to focus in on our ability to just practice, train, and wait for the next week, hoping to gain quite a bit of the coach's trust so that we can be ahead for the backup QB role. As you see here, we managed to secure gold once again on the option attack. At this point, I was fully committed to just running the option attack as training, mainly because I'm competing for the backup role. I'm trying to catch up to the backup and the starting QB, and doing the other drills, I wasn't as effective, whereas doing these, I'm clearly hella effective as we get gold and 500 coach respect. Now, the gap between us and the backup QB became that much closer to the point whereby, as I said, 1 more week of training, and I knew we were going to have that backup QB role. So we advanced on to the next week, where in week 10, it was the war of the or, i.e., ladies and gentlemen, prepare to see us go up against, as we quickly show you the gap between us for QB3 and QB2. 1 training session and we're passing it, whereas QB1, he's 11,200. We're not getting there unless he really messes up or we do well. But again, the war of the or, we're faced up against Georgia, number 2 ranked Georgia, who are 4-1 within the conference, 6-1 on the season. And I'm not going to lie to you, this matchup, we did not expect to win this. But ahead of the game, the weekly agendas that we spent it on were we did put some of our stuff on training, mainly because, we wanted to boost that. And then I could have gone for health, but I realized that there was no need because, again, I'm not going to see the field in this game, so I might as well use the remaining stamina that I do have, or the remaining energy, to build up my brand and become more well-rounded whilst I'm here. Fortunately, we run the option attack 1 more time, and we do manage to secure for ourselves gold, which allows us to beat one of our objectives in this, because with the securing of gold on this drill, we managed to surpass the backup quarterback in regards of how much trust the coach has in us. Now, this obviously does mean there will be a QB battle for QB2 in the next training session. So we waiting for this Georgia Bulldogs game to be done, because as soon as it's done, we get the opportunity to truly prove ourselves and prove we are the number 2 QB. But as you can see, Georgia is ranked 90, has a 91 overall at all 3 phases of the field. We are literally the underdogs coming into this game. As we watch their intro, they come out crazy, happy, riled up like they're ready for this game. There's their mascot cheering on the crowd. And when you look to see, remember, this is in a neutral field. Look how we come out. You can tell we knew we were meant to get romped in this game. We had no energy. We really just said, yo, we're out here. We're going to get whooped. Let life be what it's meant to be. And hopefully we don't get out here being too embarrassed as we play at the Everbank Stadium. Now, of course, you got the Georgia fans hyped as hell. This is a powerful SEC matchup, ranked versus unranked. But to start it off, as you can guess, Georgia comes out. We managed to hold them out. Our defense has really been showing out. And then we managed to get a quick little field goal to put us up, but Georgia ties it back up. We go again, kick another field goal. Georgia scores a touchdown for it. Now, at this point, our team really decided that, hey, if we want to show that we're the best in this conference, we got to step up in games like this, as we tied up against Georgia before we take the lead and really run away with it. And in a miraculous season, we managed to get a comeback win and basically upset number 2 ranked Georgia. This was the point where we knew we really could take over the SEC. And ladies and gentlemen, we could also become ranked as the Florida Gators, even though nobody really ranked us anywhere. At the beginning of the season, we weren't on the board. We weren't even ranked near. As you can see, the player of the game happened to be the DB Marshall, who came up with 2 interceptions in this game, which quite honestly, highly needed, because they were romping us throughout the majority of it, as we scored 17 in the fourth to really secure ourselves in this. Now, going into week 11, as we had discussed before, Cam Newton was now suiting himself up for his very first position battle. Now, I'm going to let myself go so you can hear how I performed in this. But it's time for position battle, baby! Let's get straight into it. Now, please don't be anything too complicated. I will not cheat the position battles, even though I did cheat some of the practices. But I won't cheat the position battles. But before I do it, let me just see something. If any of the defenders and score as many touchdowns as possible using option plays, you can release it. It's an option attack for the... Oh, my Lord. We actually might have this. Oh, and that's the restart option as well? Yeah, they want to see me. Okay, I won't cheat from now. I won't cheat from now. Okay, I won't cheat from now. Oh, just hitting that gap. First one. Light work. Easy. Do you not know? I'm never giving it to the running back, baby. Super Cam all the way. What? Score? 16K? Oh, yo, give me the QB2 position right now. Give me this. Move the depth chart. Update it. Post it on ESPN. Post it everywhere you know. Put it on your mama's fridge. I'm QB2. Ooh, guess what? I can beat this linebacker in a foot race. And number 10. Eat my dust. All right. Oh, I forgot to hold on to X, but he's gone. Let's go. That's QB2 secured. All right, cool. So that's the first part of Cam's freshman career done correctly. We've secured the backup QB role for him. Now all we need to do is, as of course, 40 yards in the air, 106 on the ground, and 3 touchdowns on the ground. But the issue is, my biggest fear is the 3 tutties on the ground. That's going to be the hardest thing to get. The 106 yards shouldn't be that hard to get. But 3 tutties, like, I really have to put my foot in the ground and get to running like it's this drill. All right, scramble, survive. Yeah, I got you. I'm going all right. Moving. Hey, there we go. I was going to throw the R1, but X was an easier option for me right there. I'm rolling in the same direction as the route that I want. So in this case, I want the short... I wanted something else. Restart the current minigame. Hey, hate me if you want. I know I said I wouldn't cheat it, but hey, I cheated an exam. What makes you think I'm not cheating this? As I said, I cheated an exam. What makes you think I'm not cheating this? Like, come on now. Have a little bit of respect for me. Cheaters. Lies. All right. I swear, last time I cheat. Very last time. Maybe one more. Ooh. It's because, that's the issue that I was having. I wasn't seeing which defender was getting off. Damn, they beat me up quicker now. Oh, that's a block. Chop him at his feet. Little hot route. God. Is that a hot route? Either way, I told the receiver to run, man. All right, give me that 500. Give me that 5. Go. Last time I cheat. Last time that I checked, all right? That's the first. Come on. He dropped it? All right, yo, I'm open. I'm down here. If he... Rolling out left. If I could run this, life would be... Yes, I was about to restart. Did I? No. So let's not talk to me. Hey! PI! Coach! that? I need to just get the ball out of my hands right there. All right. We can do this. 2 reps. Go. Go, go, go. Moving, moving, moving. Damn. All right. Breaking it. Damn. Okay, I gotta go perfect here. Pocket presence? Oh, I'm good at this. Damn, okay, that was a bad one by me. Hold up, baby. Okay, because I thought I saw something. I thought I was a wizard. I thought I figured something out. I didn't. Alright, here we go. If I stick to what I know and don't try and be creative. Oh, God. You're trying to mess me up with this. Yo, why is it moving? Son. Oh, there's bronze. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes! Let's go! 700 coach trust earned. We won option attack and pocket pressure. We just lost the scramble survive. It's cool. We are officially QB number 2. Low key, I might just call it there. I know we haven't played a single game, but technically, if we're following Cam's career, we could become QB1. We could become QB1. So having now completed a big achievement in Cam's college career, which is winning that QB2 backup quarterback role, we go into another matchup. In this case, we have a nice SEC conference matchup against number 2 ranked Texas Longhorns. They are obviously 7-1 on the season, whereas we are 5-3. We are not expecting much in this game, as it is a back and forth close game throughout the majority of it, as we both go into the half tied at 24. However, we do see Texas take a little short lead before we come back, and we take a lead that we managed to route them through, as we managed to beat Texas in another major upset of a number 2 ranked team. Ironically, this is the second time we've upset the number 2 ranked team within the conference. First one being the Georgia Bulldogs. This time around, we upset the Longhorns. Now, obviously, you see me on the field celebrating with everybody, even though I don't know why. The player of the game happens to be Chimere Dike, who finished a senior wide receiver, finishing with 8 catches for 202 yards and 4 touchdowns. This was a big game for us, so we're trying to ride the high of this going into the next week, as we are now on what I believe to be a 5-game win streak, as we now match up against the LSU Tigers. Now, obviously, this is another ranked team going up against this. Early on, as you can see, it is a game of catch-up as we keep chasing behind them, as they keep taking the lead over us and we keep catching up. We never at any point seem to take a lead that basically puts us ahead, as they always stay ahead of us at all instances. Now, at the end of the third, it is tied at 24 each. However, the Tigers do come out and get a touchdown. But fortunately enough for us, we do manage to, tie it up in overtime before taking a lead and basically securing ourselves our 6th win in a row. Fortunately enough, coming up against another big team. This is a big point for us, because we're really proving to teams that we are here, even though we're not ranked, even though we're not the biggest program out there. We really are out here to win. The only upsetting thing being, obviously, Graham Mertz is performing amazingly. 252 yards, 80% completion percentage, and 4 touchdowns in this game alone. And then going into our next matchup, we are officially ranked. We're the 21st ranked team in college football, going up against the Ole Miss Rebels, who are 23rd ranked. This is our first time being ranked on the season, so obviously we are kind of hyped. We are kind of excited. Majority of it is coming from the fact that we are riding a 6-game winning streak, so we are expecting going up against a team that's a low overall, then us lower ranked. We should come into the situation and just rout them out of this. But unfortunately, we come out in the first quarter scoreless. Then for the majority of the second and the third, we're playing the catch-up game as we did when we were playing LSU. But unfortunately, unlike with LSU, it isn't a situation where we can keep up with them, as the Ole Miss Tigers managed to come out and rout us and hand us our first loss in just over 7 weeks. Now, unfortunately for us, this is quite upsetting because nobody wants to lose their very first ranked game. But, hey, it happens to the best of us. However, their running back does come up for 161 yards on 26 rush attempts and 1 touchdown, being the player of the game. But the biggest thing that came out of this game right here was, ladies and gentlemen, off of the back of this loss, we were able to secure ourselves a position battle for QB1 as we managed to pass Graham Mertz in the coach's trust level. Now, I'm going to let you hear what happens next as we go head-to-head with him to see who's going to be QB1. We're going to need to for you to stay a bit after practice this morning. It's time for a change at the starting quarterback. We're going to see whether you deserve the spot. Now listen, I know I cheated on QB2 one, but QB1? I'm an honest man. An honest man. I'm not cheating. I ain't gonna cheat. Hey, if anybody knows where I can buy a football helmet that fits my fat head, that would be clutch, because I will wear one for this series. And I will buy a camera and everything, because, yeah, don't try me. There's another catch. What do I need? 10,000. All right, I'm rolling out, right. Yay. They got the pressure. They got the big boys after me. There you go. That's a touchdown as well. Oh, we about to win the first rap. Hey, give me my damn job. Give me my job. Give me my job. Oh, rolling out left. Now I know we've got nothing left, but hey, that was enough for it. I won the first one, and you think option it? Oh, we're starting. Yeah, that boy ain't holding me. 60,000. Okay, bad start, but I got him. I told you, I ain't gonna cheat for QB1. I was going to, but you know what I'm saying? I didn't. But I ain't gonna cheat for QB1, because Killer Cam, look at Cam. Oh, Cam. Give me my job. Ooh, what, you thought you were getting to me? Hey, you better tell number 10 to buckle up, because he's about to see some speed. Oh, look at that. Back on the outside. Hitting that gap. Hey, I said meet me at the edge. You ain't gonna meet me there. Fake the handoff. Cut it back. Get that first block. Thank you. Juke him. Hey, upfield. I don't care. I don't need the 36,000 I usually need for this. Because all I need is 16K to beat that. You know what I'm saying? Mertz out of his job. Oh, I'm cutting it back. Oh, I'm cutting upfield. Oh, he's not meeting me. Oh, that's his quarterback position gone. That's it. Hey, you know, I'm taking it clear. You're not even getting close. There's not going to be an excuse of, oh, you know, he could have done it. You know, he lost by one drill. Nah, he got done out of here, right? They knew from my play that I was QB1. He dropped that. Oh, no, he caught that. I didn't realize he gave such few points. I was like, that boy dropped that. Yeah, I have nowhere to go. Like, that's bad play calling this close to the end zone. What did they expect me to do? They're making it impossible for me with this play calling right by the end zone. Okay, now that's a bad pass by me, but the stuff in the end zone, that was a setup. Straight open. Come on. Yo, why go upfield? It's cool. We got quick slants. There we go. Right in his chest. Hey, I'm hitting this little zig. There you go. I don't know if that's a zig or an out. I don't know the sport. Hey, I'm looking for the post. Got you. Where we at? I'm looking for whoever's coming across. That's a drag. Say, there you go. Come on. Straight, quick slant. Tom Brady taught me that one. Shout out to the Seattle Seahawks. Nah, sorry. Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll taught me that one. Shout out to the Seahawks. Yes, they're my ops. Hey, one more time. Oh, all we got is those? We got short curls? I'm just taking a little check down. I don't give a damn. Give me the time. Give me the multiplier. Let's go! Battle QB1! Hey, Graham Mertz, you did well, son. You held the position. But now it's my time to shine, playboy. Go wipe my cleats. Hey, guess what, man? I sometimes oversleep my alarm. Wake me up. Wake me up. So now that Cam has basically secured himself the starting quarterback position, which is a big achievement because he never managed to do that in his freshman year. Tim Tebow held that down, and really and truly we all know what happened in a second. So the biggest thing for me was, first things first, got to work on Cam's recovery, make sure that he's not set up for injuries. So we obviously improve his health. Then we do a little bit more training that will improve his health again, just to make sure there's no nicks or wear and tear on the body. And then with the last little bit of energy we do have, we spend that on leadership. Now looking at the coach trust, I can see there's a major gap between QB1 and me and QB2 and Graham Mertz, in which case I feel safe in that Cam's going to be the starting quarterback for the rest of the season. I believe we only have like 2 or 3 games left, which is kind of nice. But the next one's against Florida State, of course. So the very first thing we end up going to do is a scouting report on Florida State in regards of their defense, most specifically focusing on their DBs and their free safety and strong safety, because the biggest thing here will be, I know on the ground we should be good because Cam's speed is going to be quick enough to get around the linebackers. However, we also need to know what it's going to look like for us in the open field in regards of being able to pass the ball around. And really and truly looking at it, their defense is the lower side of their overall. But when you look at what they have out there at free safety, strong safety, and at DB, there's a lot of dudes who play coverage really well with a lot of high speeds. So really and truly, this is going to look like a game where passing-wise, we're going to be struggling quite a bit. Now, as we've done a little bit of scouting and, we're kind of happy with what we've seen, as you can guess, we're looking at it on paper. Both teams are evenly matched outside of the offensive side of the ball where they seem to be slightly better than us. I'm assuming that's more linked to the fact that our backup, or at least our starting quarterback, is me at a 76 overall. Now, off the rip, coach decides to come out in an inside zone split. I initially decided that for the start of the game, I was going to avoid altering any of the plays that coach called, mainly because I get 18 opportunities to do it, and I figured if this game ends up being a close one, I'd rather save those for the later part of the game where it's going to be a little bit more on me to decide how we play. But here on my second play of the game, managed to make myself a half-decent read because in this situation, I identified that if I see the linebacker blitz off the right side of the line, I'm basically going to throw it to the running back because he should be open, as the next closest person is a DB who's too high up to really press up and get to him. And fortunately, that read does pay off as I managed to get myself a quick little pass for a few yards here. Now, as you remember, Cam Newton only had 40 yards through the air in his freshman career. So, in his freshman year. So the biggest thing for me was if we could get that out the way, that's a nice one. As we get another pass, a nice medium range pass out, which gets us quite a chunkage of yardage. And then next play down, coach obviously wants us to come out here in a running formation. And as I said, we're not going to amend these. As you can see, our running back manages to break off quite a chunk with this run, getting us down to the end zone, basically in a first and goal situation. I had hoped for coach to bring us out within a package that was more of an option package. But unfortunately, as you'll notice, he brought us out in a play set that basically had it that I was on the outside as playing as a fake wide receiver. Now, even though I am a quarterback, don't get it twisted, y'all. I block better than some of these receivers out here because, as you see, I basically pushed the DB all the way out, making the hole for our running back to make his way into the end zone, allowing us to score on my very first drive at the, basically manning the helm. Now, second drive coming out, as you can see, we managed to get 2 yards on a quick little rush. That didn't do too much for us, but I managed to drop back, see a situation where I have an open field, and managed to put the ball on the ground and just run it down for quite a large piece of distance. And then we come out next play, and at this point, I'm starting to notice that I can run a little bit here and there, but I'm noticing that the defense is adjusting to what I'm doing, and then now starting to set themselves up in a way to slightly contain me from getting on the outside. Now, I'm looking for passing situations, but again, just like we saw with the pass skeleton, there's a lot of bad reads on my part where I'm just throwing it where I shouldn't be. As we come out in the slip screen, this doesn't work. This is another one of those situations where I really gotta admit, this game is on me and the coach because the play calling's a bit bad and my ability's a bit bad, but it's also on the offensive line as at a point, it was just a thing of Florida State was literally getting to me no matter what. My team, for some reason, couldn't block on the right side. Basically, on the edges, our blocking was horrific. They were getting through at will as they were meeting our running backs at the line. They were meeting me in the backfield. It was shocking how badly we were playing on the offensive line side of things. But outside of that, obviously the game's still within reach as it is a single touchdown game. I was trying to get the ball out where I could, but yeah, with the pressure that was being applied to me, we weren't able to get the passes out in a way that I really would be happy with, and we were ending up in a lot of situations where they were just getting stops. Now, fortunately, we did start with the short field on the next drive where we managed to get towards the end zone. I quickly managed to use my feet to get us a little bit closer and get us within first and goal range. And here, automatically, I had a bad mindset because I initially threw the first pass. It was incomplete, leading to a fourth and goal. And yeah, like after this situation, my tendencies became more of I wanted to rush more as it was a camp thing, but that wasn't working out for the team. Now, obviously, I was getting a few passes here and there, some half-decent reads as we went down the field because we were down 10-21 after that field goal and they're scoring. So I was trying to march us down as much as I could with a few minutes left to the second quarter because I figured, hey, if we can get a touchdown or a field goal here, it's back to being a one-score game, in which case we can stay in this because, again, it is my debut game as a starting quarterback, so I am looking to get a win here. Now, another situation of dropping back, had a half-decent read here, and guess what? We managed to bomb it all the way to the end zone for over a 50-yard touchdown to our wide receiver in an excellent situation. Wilson III manages to come up big for us with that play because I'm not going to lie to you, with how things had been going, it looked like it was about to be really a terrible showcase for us in this opening debut. Now, we run an option route. As I said, improving that elusiveness really paid off as we managed to break off of a few tackles and just get ourselves some decent yardage. Now, in the 3rd and 6 situation, as you can guess, I'm hot routing as much as I can to really set us up into a situation whereby we have enough confusion going up top that they can't set up that defense. As I throw another dime just over the top of the safety, which was kind of risky, but hey, we managed to get it in. And then now we're within short field goal distance where I'm thinking, hey, worst comes to worst, we can get a field goal. But if anything, I do not want to get sacked. Now, 4th and 10, as you can guess, we took the field goal, managed to get ourselves within a 1-point game. I throw another nice little dime when we get back on the field for another offensive drive, pushing us up to midfield. At this point, as you can really believe, the comeback is on. We are mounting it back. Florida is about to get back in this and beat Florida State in my debut. But again, bad situations of offensive line not being able to block people leads to my very first interception, which means we failed at one of our objectives because in Cam's first season, due to the limited playing time, he never threw an interception. And whereas for us, yeah, we managed to do so. We look down the field again, try and air it out. It doesn't work out for us. At this point, it was becoming more of a rush game for me. Even though it was a 1-point game, it felt like everything was not working out because as you see, their defense was applying a lot of pressure on us and we couldn't beat it. Like we were literally trying to run the ball and they'd stop us at the line, leading to 4th and inches. Then again, hey, you know one thing about Killer Cam, I will put my feet down. But again, lost on a block. Like our offensive line was really just struggling to stop anyone here. And we were paying a painful price for this because we were getting incomplete passes. We weren't really, at this point of the game, we were down 8 points and my decision making as well as the offensive line's ability was just leading to us not being in a real good situation here. Now that completion right there managed to give us a little bit of a boost because obviously we now think, hey, we got a chance. So we run down the field, see an open man. I know what the button is off the rip. Fortunately, he catches it on the sideline and manages to run it up into a good distance, getting us within the red zone. And now we're just thinking, hey, as long as we can get a field goal or something, points here really matter. A touchdown will be great, but a field goal will be taken. Now, we managed to get ourselves back within first and goal situation. Off the rip, you can guess, in my head, I thought to myself, hey, we've got 2 plays to get it in the end zone because on the third one, it's going to be hell. So we start off with a nice little running back handoff. Doesn't manage to get it. So I'm like, hey, it's cool. Second play, we managed to choose the RPO. Actually, in this situation, we went for the slants because the RPO was too much of a risk in the fact of how the defense might play it. So with the slants out, I decided to put the ball in my own hands, managed to run it up, call my own number, get to the end zone, get a rushing touchdown, which puts us 1/3 of the way towards Cam's rushing touchdown goal. However, now comes the hardest part of the game where we got to get the 2-point conversion. And unfortunately, due to the fact that I had already run it once, I thought I could run it a second time. And as you will see here, that was not exactly the smartest idea because I thought with having a lot of people running across the field, we should have a lot of people dropping into coverage, which allows me to run. But again, our center can't hold a block to save his life. And unfortunately, we end up losing this rivalry game against Florida State 28-26, which really stung. Now, looking at the stats, you can see I had a terrible showcase in my debut as the starting quarterback, going for 14 of 34 for 272 yards with 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and a QBR of 112.2. Now, obviously, the yards look good, but the completion and attempts, we need to work on that completion percentage because, yeah, that is horrific. Alright, so we didn't win the final game of the season. Our rookie debut was a loss. We lost to Florida State, and we had not the worst showcase, but we had a really bad showcase, which I'm kind of upset about. But hey, it is what it is. Fortunately enough, that wasn't the final game of the season. I mean, it was the final game of the season in regards of being able to make it to the playoffs, which we never did. The Heisman was won by Dylan Gabriel of the Oregon. I don't even know what team Oregon is, but he won based off the fact that 4,200 yards, 3 interceptions, 42 touchdowns. You are gonna win the Heisman. Whereas for us, we were headed to the Music Bowl City to basically play against the Northwestern Wildcats. Now, really and truly, this is meant as a game for where the seniors get to do one final lap. So the biggest thing for us going into this game was we were really focused on just getting in there and getting the win. Now, obviously, I wanted to get my stats up in order to beat Cam Newton's freshman season stats. But I'll leave it to the game for you to see how it happened. But do me a favor, if you did enjoy this content and you want to see more long form content that's like an hour long or stuff like this, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you ain't done so yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn post notifications on. And lastly but not least, drop a comment down below telling me any other possible videos you might want to see on the channel. But I'm going to leave you to the live comms from when I recorded this. And yeah, it's been your boy Alvin MB10, aka MR10. I'll catch you in a bit. Deuces. Hey, man. Calabasas is a bust. Deagle. I'm getting out there on these blocks now. I don't give a damn. Coach, I'm going to run with your plays till we reach a situation where I feel like I really got to step in. Because you know what you're doing better than me. I barely know the sport. I mean, I shouldn't be saying that as a quarterback, but barely do. There you go. Hey, here we go. Yup, here we go. Hey, there you go. Now that was a high pass. They got Shaq West. Yeah, that's me. Told him block right. There you go. I have no idea whether that did anything, but I just tried to tell the wide receiver come over the other side. Put the ball in my hands. Motion. Cut back across. Cut back across. Going. Juke them. There we go. Big yards. Big yards. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm not handing. I'm not handing. You know me. See ya. Sayonara. Had to tuck that one. Protect. Set it. Hey, kick. We'll take a kick. We'll take a kick. We'll take a kick. That's 3. That's 3. Put the. Hey. Are they pressing you? Nah, they ain't, but let's try and see if you can get a little bit of space over there. Hey, yo! Come on! Who was blocking that? Who on the left side? I remember when it had the world in the chokehold. Alright, I need R1 to go across. There you go. I know my deep accuracy is crap, but I know that. I need you to drag everybody up the middle of the field, up the field. There you go, there you go, there you go. Wide ass open. There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go. Big yard. No freaking way. No freaking pass like I'm a non-scrambling quarterback. I'm a scrambler. I use my feet. Use your feet. There you go. There's the ground game. Run him down the middle. Run him straight down the run him straight down the hash. There you go. Now that's a block. Now that's a block. Hey, block upfield. Hey, y'all gotta block that. Hey, nah. We ain't trying to hear that Mo Bamba stuff. Go. Go. Go, 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 go. There we go. Hey, we got to. Let's go. Dang, got us. Thank you. God, hey, my biggest fear. Oh, short field? Okay, cool. We ain't got much to do. We just got a little bit. Come on. There you go. And I choked it like this. Come on, come on. Let's go. There you go. Let's go. No idea. But I'm assuming, hopefully, if we take the victory formation, it's the same thing in normal college football, where it's just, hey, ref just calls the game. There we go. Yep, ref just calls the game. Sweet. Let's go. Hey, Northwestern. Beat the traffic. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hey, my bad, y'all. Hey, this was a bad freshman year for me. This was a bad rookie season. Yep, shout out to our running back. That boy really saved us. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Look at Cam. Season stats so far, we managed to finish with 402 yards off of 60 passes. Completion percentage of 40%. If we compare that to what Cam had. So in Cam's season, he had a completion percentage of 50%. We had 40, which was worse. We had more yards, more attempts, more completions. Makes a lot more sense. Yards per game, we had more, obviously. And then obviously QB rating, we probably had a higher, as well as a higher long. When it came to rushing, we finished 3 yards shy of Cam Newton's 106. Average, we attempted about 11 more carries to do this, averaging about 3.8 yards versus his 6.4. 1 touchdown to his 3. Average rushing per game was kind of horrific. Broken tackles, we did kind of well. Yards after contact, we did really well with 85 out of the 103. And then obviously a long of 27 after having played 5 games and 153 downs.